Hi there and welcome to another portion of infotainment. This video counts towards your 5 a day. What's the worst existing job? On a serious note, the guy who has to watch child porn to actually verify it as such. Yeah, if that. I'd go home after the first day, gouge my eyes out, and kill myself. Not sure how they do it. I think they do it on a rotation. You can only do it for so long before someone else takes the job. It would crush you doing it once, doing it for years would kill you. Checking abandoned houses in Detroit for occupancy and condition. During the worst of the recent recession. Live in Michigan, have a friend who does that. He says the houses are either empty or have passed out / dead junkies in them. There's also the occasional homeless person or runaway. The people that have to clean up crime scenes / places people have died. I almost got a job doing that. $16 per hour with terrible benefits. No health insurance. Was told the worst case they had 3 months earlier was when a morbidly obese work-from-home computer programmer died in his home and wasn't discovered for 5 months. They needed shovels to get him out. Every window was covered in flies and he had leaked into the subflooring, so that had to be replaced as well. They did restoration too. A literal job you could acquire PTSD from doing and no health benefits. Beyond duct. Underwater welder. The pay's great but the mortality rate is 40x higher than anything. Look up Delta P. It's a horrific thing to think that can happen suddenly without warning. Delta P ain't no joke. It's what caused the death of Eugene Krabs while he was on a stroll. SpongeBob is cancelled. Air traffic control. I've heard it's the most stressful job in the world. Surpassing even top-level government jobs such as the presidency. Mad props to those workers. Phew, it's not so much because planes are constantly almost crashing into one another. TCAS and altitude protocols are very reliable. Every ATC worker could go take a smoke break and the planes would probably stay up in the air just fine. The stressful part is that busy airports run at 105% capacity 14 hours a day, 365 days a year. To maximize profits, they book traffic volume at the maximum possible under ideal conditions, if every plane hits its exact slot with no weather issues or takeoff delays. So every single day turns into a cluster duck. There's always a thunderstorm somewhere. By 9 a.m., the planes start backing up, and they never stop. Minor delays on the other side of the country ripple through the system and make the situation worse. By lunch, every single person you speak to is pissed off and overwhelmed. And tomorrow will be the same poop show. I've seen clips of people diving in raw sewage without any equipment to clear blockages in developing countries. Now that is a poop job. House cleaning for a low-budget motel. I'd rather not know what the liquid is, thanks. Hell, I worked in a swanky hotel and even that was a nightmare. Can only imagine what a cheap one would be like. I think one detective that had to watch the videos of people that filmed murders and pedo acts to build cases on the suspects said the job destroyed him mentally. That and people that work at garbage collection places. I went to it one time to drop off trash in my truck. That smell and thickness of dust in there was like nothing I have experienced and I started to throw up. I had to leave with most of my trash. I feel for you. I have a strong stomach for everything except nasty smells, but that last sentence made me laugh. 1.911 dispatchers, high burnout rate, often dealing with stressful situations over the phone. I believe that one said the burnout rate is 100%. Like after 3 to 4 years, 100% of 911 dispatchers will change careers. Not sure if that's accurate. He also said every 911 dispatcher is on some form of anti-anxiety / depressant. One said she dealt with a lot of guilt as a lady called her about her ex-boyfriend with a restraining order breaking in. Despite telling her to get into a closet and sending the police as quick as she could, she got to listen to the panicked cries of the woman followed by gunshots, which killed her. 2.EMT / paramedics, often the first ones to terrible scenes, to scenes that are out of control. One place might have them fending off someone with a knife, another might have them trying to resuscitate a dead baby. I knew a guy, EMT. He said the stuff with babies is the hardest. He had one where he went to a car accident and they were trying so hard to keep the baby alive but it was just too badly injured. He said the entire crew got back to station and just collapsed into their chairs and started sobbing. 3. Coroner staff, you're getting death from all angles but you also have to deal with murders, suicides, disasters, etc. Probably being the guy that has to grab the bull's dick to collect its sperm lol. But he makes money hand over fist. It'd have to be quite a bit lol. Loads. Among legitimate jobs, I always thought people wearing huge fur suits of some characters have it the ducking worst in the world. I lived in a country, for most of my life, where summers get up to 40°C and they must be going through literal hell. The only redeeming quality of that situation is that you don't duck up your skin as much. There are cooling systems built into the suits, so it's not as bad as you'd think it is. But it still has to suck balls. I very much doubt that in third world countries they go as far as to install conditioning in those suits. I think suicide line. You just can't save everybody? Done that? You never know if it was a real or a faked call. Some callers are regulars, you begin to recognize their mo's. You can't assume that any call is fake though, even them. This might be the time they want to go through with it. It wasn't a job though. It was voluntary work. Very well supervised too. But you rarely knew the eventual outcome. Any repetitive factory work? The work itself isn't too bad. It's stress-free if you can handle the heat. The worst part is the overtime. Constantly. End of your shift and boss says hey, need someone to help third. You're working 2 more hours. Friday rolls around and hey, we're behind so you're all coming in tomorrow. Rinse and repeat that poop for 6 months and you'll have no spirit left in you. It's demoralizing to feel like your time isn't your own. Lifeguard in Olympic swimming competitions. My neighbor's daughter did this for the 2012 London Olympics. She was in her late teens/early 20s. She said it was brilliant being paid to check out some of the fittest bodies on the planet just in case someone banged their head. It sounds like a boring job, but I wonder how many times competitors have pushed themselves past the limit and then needed assistance. I'd imagine the lifeguards also have other aid training as well. I don't see any swimming specific deaths, but people have definitely collapsed and or died while competing in Olympic events. Slaughterhouse for sure. People who work in those normally grow up in farm communities and see it as a normal thing. They don't see it as particularly sad or anything because it's been a part of their life in some way their whole lives. I can see why anyone else would be those sorts. Am from farm community, don't do the job and wouldn't want it, but I don't think I'd be particularly upset with the job. The more industrial slaughterhouses often employ undocumented immigrants who will put up with the crap pay and the crap conditions. Many accidents happen, for both human and animal, when you need to slaughter X amounts of animals/minute. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.